What's up guys, Zami here and you're watching Heavy Metal Pomp. Today I've got another pomade review for you and we're going to be revisiting a brand that I've previously looked at on this channel. For today we're going to be looking at Vintage Armor's Cream Pomade. Now this is an unorthodox water-based pomade with a firm to heavy hold, and of course I want to thank Ikhwan for sending me this. Thanks dude. And without further ado, we're going to take a closer look at the jar right now. And here we have Vintage Armor's Cream Pomade. Now I don't have it on me, but the pomade does come in a white box with a pamphlet of the Vintage Armor lineup. The pomade itself comes in a white 3.5 ounce plastic tub, has a label around the side with the brand and product name. You get ingredients on one side, some information next to it, and a bit more information on the other side as well. Wait, what? What the hell is this?
Denied!
Jokes aside, I really do like the rebranded look of Vintage Armor. Looks really clean and simple and definitely fits that salon vibe that they're going for. And if you open it up, you get this creamy brown pomade inside. The scent's called Royal Floral Blossom, and it is a pretty alright scent. What I'm getting is a sweet floral scent. If you smell the previous formulation to Jabat, it smells pretty identical to that. It's not exactly the same, but it has a very similar scent DNA. The scent's also quite present without being overbearing, so you'll definitely notice it throughout the day. Scooping it out, with a very minimal amount of effort, it comes out really creamy. Breaking it down, just as creamy, and it's not really that tacky, but it starts to feel a bit more thick the more you break it down. Brush down to this white paste, and going into the hair, definitely has a bit of tugging and pulling, especially if you're applying into dry hair like I am, but it's not that bad. It's definitely a lot more thick and grippy compared to Jabat, which was really smooth and creamy, didn't really have that much resistance, but this one definitely has more presence in the hair. I prefer applying this in dry hair because it just gives me more hold and control, but if you must, you can always apply in damp hair, or you can always apply in smaller amounts as well. The scent, like I mentioned earlier, definitely is present, and as much as I don't really care for sweet floral scents, it's not a bad one. Now the shine on this is definitely more of a low to natural shine depending on how much you use, but I normally find I get a low shine at best. Looking it back, definitely has quite a bit of resistance, but after the first few passes, it's gonna slick through pretty easily. It definitely feels pretty thick and dry for me, but as you can tell, combing it through is really manageable. Gonna start my hair now, talk to you again in a bit. And I'm pretty much just gonna call that done. So as you can tell, I'm getting a really good amount of height. My sides are holding down nicely. Even though on the drier side, it still has a sufficient amount of slickness to keep everything together, getting that low natural shine, and the scent is subdued but present. So anyways, let's talk more about the Cream Pomade. Now when I first heard that Vintage Armor was going through a rebranding, I was pretty bummed because I really liked the Palawan team that they had previously. And as sad as I was to see them leave behind the homebrewed charm that they had, I think that this is a good move for them. I'm not going to dwell too much on this, but this definitely has a broader appeal and it's going to break into salon markets much more easy while still being a homebrewed product. Now as for the product itself, when I first tried this out, I couldn't really help but notice the parallels it had with Jabat. Jabat, if you don't remember, was Vintage Armor's previous unorthodox water-based pomade, and I'll link to my review of it up here and down below. Now even from just opening the jar, it smells really similar to Jabat like I mentioned earlier. As far as the performance goes, I definitely think that there's similarities with Jabat, but this is definitely a major improvement from it. Scooping out the Cream Pomade is definitely much more thicker compared to Jabat. It doesn't have that same lotion-like consistency. The Cream Pomade also applies into the hair a bit more thick and definitely has a bit more tugging and pulling compared to Jabat, but I actually prefer that. Even though Jabat had an easier application, the Cream Pomade just has a nicer presence in the hair, which translates to styling very nicely. It provides some nice control, it's pretty lightweight, and it definitely does provide a firm to heavy hold, so it styles really nicely. The slickness may not be the best, it definitely has that typical unorthodox water-based pomade type of slickness, but it's gonna be sufficient to work with. You can also expect some solid endurance with this. Aside from the occasional minor touch-up, it's gonna hold up pretty damn well throughout the entire day. And I think my most favorite part about this pomade is with the washout, cause one rinse, pretty much all you need. One thing about the new Vintage Armor lineup is that all 4 of them feature a key ingredient called Moringa oleifera, That ingredient alone is supposed to provide plenty of hair healthy benefits, so washing it out, I can definitely feel that my hair feels conditioned and healthy. So not only is it really easy to wash out, but it feels like you've been using a leave-in conditioner, which I just can't complain about. Of course, if you don't want to have that leave-in conditioned feeling, you can always shampoo to get everything out. It's not a big deal. So anyways, final verdict on Vintage Armor's Cream Pomade. I give it a 4 out of 5. As much as I generally don't gravitate towards using unorthodox water-based pomades, I find myself reaching out for this a lot more frequently than I thought I would. Because let's face it, it is a damn good water-based pomade whether I like water-based pomades to begin with. It is just a reliable pomade overall. I can always count on it to style my hair really nicely, and it's really easy to wash out without making your hair feel like shit. It goes without saying that you should definitely check this one out whether or not you like water-based pomades, cause it's definitely changed my mind for the better. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Hope you liked the review. Do leave a comment down below, subscribe to my channel right here, or you can check out my last video right here. I'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.